Hello everyone, welcome back. So we're gonna be shooting 200 yards today with this Palmetto PX9. This is a 9mm rifle. Um, you guys have seen me do this before, but this time I'm doing it with the with a primary arms 1:8 scope. Now this is the original one. This is the $300 version. The reason why this is on the 9mm is because I have bought two new primary arm scopes. I got the M8 Raptor, which is a $1,500 scope, and I also have the SLX 1:10 by 28 with the M10S Mythen Grid. So since I have new scopes, I put those two scopes on my AR-15s that 18-inch barrels that shoot like a .5 MOA, right, half-inch groups at 100 yards. And what I did is I took this older scope and I put it on a 9mm AR because it's great because I can do, like, in one power I can do some CQB work up close at steel targets. That's not something I can do with 5.56, and it's also challenging to shoot at 200 yards. Okay, with the 5.56, shooting 200 yards is nothing. Okay, that's easy. So with the 9mm, it's a little bit more challenging. Let me give you guys a view of downrange. You guys have seen this picture. I've zoomed you guys in the past. Okay, you're not going to be able to see the target get hit, which is why I'm basically just you're listening for the pings. Okay, I'll position the camera here where I think you get a more interesting view. Yeah, I shall put it up here. Put you guys in a position where you get a more interesting view, right? So you guys are listening for the dings. You should be able to hear the dings. And then what I also did is I freshly painted the steel target. The target is 1 foot wide by 2 feet tall. Okay, so it's well in size. It's actually inside the average man. And the ammunition I'm using is Tula steel case. Okay, so Tula, I've done some great work with Tula. So let's take this out to 200 yards. And you're listening for the dings. And we're going to also walk up to the targets, and we should be able to hit the impacts. Now, the zero on this, I should mention that, it has a 20-yard zero, first zero, which gives me a second zero at 100 yards. Okay, so it's a 20-yard zero, 100 yards, second zero. Okay, and then as far as if I'm at 150 yards, I'm using what would be the 400-yard mark in the ACSS. So the number 4 line, okay, of the ACSS. At the 200 yards, I'm using the number 6 line. So that ordinarily with a 5.56, that would be a 600-yard hold. Well, I'm just going to call it the number 6 line because we're shooting 9mm. Okay, and I've done another video when I plan to take this out to 300 yards. With 300 yards using the 8 line, I don't think that's going to be enough elevation. So what I plan to do is I plan to actually zoom back because there's a second focal plane scope. So in the next few days when I get to the 300-yard range, if the 800-yard hold is not enough, which I don't think it'll be, I'm just going to zoom that back from 8 power to 6. And given that it's a second focal plane scope, that will rise up. It'll give, because the reticle gets larger relative to the target, right? Well, actually, the reticle stays the same, but the picture in the background changes. Okay, so with the first focal plane scope, as you zoom in out, both reticle and target are proportionately the same. With the second focal plane, what happens is as you zoom in and out, the reticle stays the same, but your target changes. So we can cheat elevation by zooming back. But anyway, that's a different video. Right now, let's see if we can get some hits here with 200 yards. At 200 yards with this, and we're going to be using the the 6 line. All right, would normally be the 600-yard line. So you guys are listening for dings. That's why I got the electronic ears here, so I can also hear the dings better. elevation in the back. Okay, so yeah, what I did is I dialed back to 3 power so I could find my target, and I'm gonna dial back up to 8. Go to the 6 line. I'm gonna center this. Hit. 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 Nope. Hit. See what's happening. My wind's pushing. The wind ribbons are pushing a little bit to the left downrange. I'm gonna have to hold right just a little bit. No, let's go back center. Hit. Hit. Okay. All right. So this, not easy. Okay, I think maybe we got 50% hit rate. I don't know. I'd have to go back and count it. I think I had maybe 16 rounds in the mag. I don't know if I had 17 in the 17 round mag. One of the things I do is I always get in the habit of dialing back to 1 on an LPVO. This way, if you pick it up and get on target, it's always going to be in that 1 power. So you always want to dial your LPVO back to that 1 power. Okay? This way, it's always there. This is the brash tactical thing. This is really awesome for like throwing this down your back and then just getting the tightness just right. Actually, earlier today, I was shooting this rifle at 100 yards, just standing, right? So, in a standing position, I did a video on this. What I did is I just wrapped my arm around it like this to brace it like that. And then I was getting pretty good hit rates at 100 yards, just standing using the sling for support. The only reason I'm putting it on so it's easier for me to carry stuff. So let's take you guys down to the target and we'll see where we were impacting. Okay, let's go take a look at it. There we go. It looks like it's pretty evenly spaced out throughout the target. Favoring to the right. I thought I was shooting left off the target, right? So I think that initially I was centered over here, and then what I thought I saw an impact off to the left. So what I did is I thought I had wind blowing. Actually, no. What I did is I also saw the wind ribbon moving a little bit to the left for a little bit. It didn't do it a whole long time, but I started holding a little bit towards the right, and I think that's these hits over here up to the right. And then I got a couple of misses, I guess, off to the side here, and then I went back center. So yeah, that's a 200 yards. Target again is 1 foot, about 1 foot wide by 2 foot tall. So I look forward to taking this out to 300 yards and seeing what we can do. Obviously over there I'm going to use a much bigger target, and try and get an idea of where we're impacting. Obviously the 9mm are just wide. I mean, at this type of distance, they just start opening up at 200 yards. So I think on the ones that I was holding center, So the information that I got today, that's going to be useful for me to have when I go out to further distance. The ones that I was holding center that were missing, it wasn't I wasn't missing because the wind was pushing me offline or anything like that. It's just that, you know, some of the bullets, I mean, my group is probably wider than the target overall at 200 yards with 9mm. So some of them were just going around the target, but enough of them were going to the center that it's still effective enough. So anyway, thanks for watching. Drop some comments below. Talk to you guys soon.